All right, folks, it looks like we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Tanya. This is a comeback yoga class that will get going here in just under 5 minutes. So I'm really glad to see you all here. You'll need an exercise mat and a glass of water and maybe a yoga block if you have one. And we'll get started here just under 3 minutes or 4 minutes now. I'll just share a short reading with you from a book called The I Rest Program. Feelings and emotions are messengers sent to you by your body. Cognitions, which are made up of your thoughts, beliefs, images, and memories, are the messengers sent to you by your mind. We have an estimated 12,000 to 50,000 thoughts per day. These thoughts typically occur in a normal range from positive to neutral to negative and back again. PTSD can cause hyperactivity in your mind, which upsets the normal range of thoughts that can cause an increase in negative thoughts. When you don't understand the role of both your positive and negative thoughts, you can feel out of control in your life and relationships. By welcoming and understanding both your positive and negative thoughts as messengers, you can engage new patterns of thinking that help you feel in control. In this chapter, we learn the role our thoughts play as messengers and how we can help them heal. Your thinking mind is an amazing organ. It's the product of millions of years of evolution. Every day you experience a wide range of thoughts, from positive and caring to negative and hurtful. You experience thoughts, images, and memories that create hope and connection, as well as ones that invite doubt and fear. Thoughts enable you to believe that you're powerful and capable of great things, or that you're helpless and limited, so you'll never amount to anything at all. You see, what you think about has tremendous power. In the words of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. Every thought you have, whether it's I'm capable of great things or I'm helpless, impacts your body. As you read these words, your thyroid, spleen, pancreas, and adrenal glands are responding to your thoughts by sending hormones that are influencing your immune, cardiovascular, respiratory, and digestive system. Like it or not, every thought you have has a powerful effect on your body, and every way your body is feeling has a powerful effect on your thoughts. Now, relate this to understanding your PTSD. Your negative thoughts affect your body and hold you captive. In turn, your bodily symptoms hold you captive in your thoughts. Your negative thoughts create a vicious cycle that keeps your PTSD in place. So change your thinking and change your PTSD. So that is our food for thought today. So we're going to be working with some sensations as we go into the practice today and how our mind affects our body. Welcome to Comeback Yoga's All Levels class. My name is Tanya. If you're not familiar with Comeback Yoga, we are an organization that supports veterans, active duty military. I can't talk this morning, and your support team. And I'm so grateful to have you here today for this Comeback Yoga All Levels class. We're here for about 45 minutes. And you'll need a yoga mat, a glass of water, and maybe a blanket or a towel or a cushion to sit on or have it under your head. I'm going to take a sip of water here. So give me 1 second. All right. So unless you have any questions or comments, anything you'd like to share or anything that you're working with today that you want some support on, you can type them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to come on down to our back. And with that being said, get yourself as comfortable as possible for the short duration that we will be on our back. Now, if being on your back isn't comfortable at all whatsoever, you can sit up, but we will be starting our practice today on our back, even with our movement practice. So, um, just invite whatever level of comfort. I'm going to have this big cushion under my head. It just feels better for my body, but you can decide for you. And we can have those knees bent or straight. And we're just going to take a moment to practice a little bit of that um commentary. So, as you just kind of scan your body and you might notice maybe what's going on in your body, noticing your breath, noticing the movement of breath and the way that it's coming into your body. Take about 3 breaths here, allowing you to just become present with your breath this day. And now, I'd like for you to bring to mind just a brief moment here, something that, an activity that you like to do, something that brings you joy, and could be maybe riding your bike. It could be going for a swim. It could be reading books. It could be playing video games. What is it that you like to do? Maybe it's doing yoga, right? And bring that activity to mind. And then as you bring that activity to mind, just take a moment to notice like how it makes your whole body feel. Something that you like to do and how it makes your body feel. And then notice any thoughts that come along with it. Like, oh yeah, I like to do this because, I like to do this particular thing and that, and oh, that is so much fun, or that, just I really dig on that, whatever that is. And just kind of notice how like, oh, your everything just starts to kind of culminate together and makes you even want to go do that thing, even though we're here right now. And so I invite you to stay present with me on this. Um, so we're just thinking about that thing, and that maybe we do that after this yoga. But so just notice how that kind of makes you feel doing that thing. And now let that go. And then I'd like to invite you to something that you don't like to do. What is it you don't like to do? You really grudge doing, like taking out the trash or cleaning the house, or maybe there's something in that activity that you don't really particularly like because you're not good at it, or maybe it just doesn't feel good. Or you just don't like to do it. So bring that activity to mind and just kind of notice how it makes you feel. Just kind of where do you feel that in your body? And just even the thought of bringing it to mind kind of maybe doesn't make you feel comfortable, or it just doesn't, yeah, you just don't want to think about it at all. And so, so you can see when these two thoughts come to mind, these two, even just thinking about these activities, how our thoughts impact how our body feels. So we're going to let go of that exercise now. And we're just going to take 3 breaths here together. So let your next exhale go. And then inhale, maybe holding your hands onto your body to feel how your breath moves your body. And then breathe that out. Let that go. Maybe letting the jaw drop away from the roof of the mouth. And let's breathe 2 more times together. So big inhale and exhale. Let's do one more time. Inhaling and exhale. Good. All right. So if you're on your back, we're going to bend the knees and rock those knees side to side. If you are sitting up, you can do this side to side too, just kind of rocking those knees side to side, turning your head away from the knees in the opposite direction, just moving side to side. If you want to, you can take your arms out. Just And then we'll walk those feet, hip distance, arms to your sides. One knee comes to your chest. And then place that foot down. Other knee comes to your chest. And that foot down. Keep going back and forth to each leg. If you'd like to, you can add a head lift back and forth. And the next time the leg comes in, have you straighten it out, straighten your leg out, and then place your foot down. And then other leg comes in and lower down. Keep going. Maybe your hands come up closer to your ankle. Each time you're bringing your leg in. Maybe you're straightening it. Maybe you're lifting your head up. Okay. So let's do one more time, each side. Okay. And now we're going to lift the hips up, lower them down, and then bring the knee in. Lower the leg down. Lift your hips up, lower your hips down, bring the opposite leg in, and lower down. Lift hips, lower down, lift leg, and lower down. Now you could do this without the pillow under your head and just alternating legs. And we'll do one more. There's that lift, that bridge lift in between, and the leg lift. All right, wonderful. Let's bring both legs in, lifting head and shoulders up. And then send your legs and arms out to a V position. And then bring your legs in. Arms and legs into a V. Now, if that puts a lot of strain on your back, then just bring your arms and legs straight up. And then the knees come in. And then the legs go up. Legs in. And maybe legs out. You can certainly alternate. We'll do a couple more each, or a couple more. And make this the last one. And then knees in. All right. Come to your side just briefly. And tucking those knees up to the chest. All right. And pressing up. Coming to a tabletop position. If you like to have some extra padding under your knees, you can use a blanket, a towel, or you could even fold up the edges of the mat. So tabletop position, our hands are about shoulder width and the middle finger maybe pointing forward, just whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to do some swaying side to side. So you're going to look over one shoulder, opposite or that same hip coming towards the shoulder. And then you're going to bring the other hip around, looking over your shoulder. Just like C curving the spine, you're going to look over the other shoulder. Maybe you hold it for a second, or maybe you're moving more quicker than I am, just whatever you like. Good. And then come back to center. Let's move ourselves up into a downward dog. Stretching down through the legs, stretching down through the arms, through the hands. Really feel that length coming in through your torso, your arms, your hips, your legs extending long, your arms extending long. You're feeling this whole body stretch.
And this upside down position where your head is hanging down, if it doesn't feel good, then maybe come to your knees. Otherwise, we're in this full extension of the arms, turning your head left and right, releasing any tension in the neck, getting this traction for your spine, for your body, for your legs, so your head can release. All right, walk your hands and feet together to come into a forward fold, bringing your hands to the ground, or maybe your hands are resting on your legs, but have them in contact with something. Maybe they're on your thighs. And again, maybe we nod our head back and forth, up and down, left and right and left, maybe even a circle. And then look forward. We'll rise up to a standing position. Slowly take your time. We've been on the ground for a bit here. So just adjust your clothing as you come to standing. Everything just seems to pull upwards. So let's let it pull downwards now without falling off. So coming to a position where you feel tall. So this is our mountain pose. Mountain pose is standing, and you can think of yourself literally like a mountain. You have a wide base and you're tall, maybe head is in the clouds. And just notice what it when we start to bring an image of a mountain, just tall, and what other feelings or images come to mind when there's a mountain? Maybe you are the mountain or you're looking at a mountain. Is there Do you feel that solidness, broadness? There's maybe a core at the mountain. What comes to mind for you? And so let's embody that mountain position. Couple more breaths. What is it like to feel tall and solid and proud like a mountain? Are you mobile, immobile? Are you supportive? Are you supporting? Take one more breath here. From the soles of the mountain to the top of the mountain, and then back down to the soles of the mountain. All right, turning to maybe face the screen or the camera. I'll face you. And the feet are coming about hip distance apart. Palms are going to face forward. Let's bring those arms up overhead. Maybe look up towards the hands or towards the ceiling. Maybe even those arms going out fairly wide. And then lowering your arms down on an exhale. Let's repeat. Inhale, lifting arms up, maybe looking up at hands or ceiling, maybe arms going out wide. And exhaling, lowering the arms down. Let's do one or two more times, actually, going at your own pace. Maybe your breath is slower than mine, or maybe it's faster than mine, and you go at your own pace. One more time. Just noticing how it feels to stretch those arms up and down. Good. Now let's take the arms out into a T position and then bend your elbows. We're going to hinge forward, folding forward, hands now coming to the legs or to the floor or to the feet. Release your head towards the toes. Bend your knees, elbows go out wide again, and then we'll come all the way up to standing and then release your arms down. Let's repeat. Inhaling those arms out into a T. Exhaling, bending your elbows and the knees, coming forward slightly and down, maybe hands resting to the floor or to the feet or legs. Bend the knees, elbows go out wide. Let's look forward and rise all the way up. And then release the arms down. Let's do that one more time. Arms coming out into a T. And then exhaling, bending the elbows and the knees coming to the floor or the legs. Bending the knees, come all the way up again. And then releasing those arms down to your sides. All right, folks, let's take it out into a wide stance, facing that long edge of your mat so that your feet are fully supported on a surface that allows you to not slip, that a surface that allows you to feel stable. All right, taking the arms out wide into that parallel T position. Bend the elbows here, and let's turn the heels in and the toes out. We're going to bend those knees into a little squat here, and then take those arms out wide. Now turn the feet in and one leg turns out, coming into a warrior two pose. And then coming up, bend the elbows, turn the heels in, feet out, and coming down into that squat. Push those legs out and down, turn to the other side, bending the knee for a warrior two. So we're repeating this again, arms out, bending the knees, toes out, coming into that squat. Open the arms, turn the heel out, leg turns out, and bend the knee. So reaching, maybe looking at the fingertips. Now let's come back up. Heels in. We'll do this one more time. Bending the knees. Open up. That foot, the back leg turns forward, other leg turns out, and then bending the knee for that warrior two. Come up and turn your feet forward now. Bending the elbows here, tip forward into a fold, and then your hands coming to the legs or the floor as you release over your feet. Well, you're really not over the feet, but you get the idea. Take a couple of breaths here, stretch out through the legs. Maybe feel a little rush of blood coming towards the head or into the head. This can be invigorating. Having ourselves upside down like this, we start to see the world a little differently. You might notice how things behind you look differently. You might feel a little dizzy, and if that's true for you, you can bring your head more in line with the heart. All right, bend your knees, look forward, and we'll rise to our standing position. Oh, that was invigorating. You can see my face turned a little red from the blood rush. Okay, let's repeat two more rounds. So, turning your toes out, arms coming up. We're going to add a posture these two rounds. So, bending the knees for that little squat. Straighten out. Back leg, the foot turns towards the short, long edge of the mat. The other leg turns out. Warrior two. All right, now straighten out that leg. We're going to reach to triangle. Coming into triangle. Big stretch through the legs and through the arms, right? So reaching up through the fingertips, almost as if you could touch the ceiling. And then we're coming back into that warrior two. Open the feet and the arms, and then into our squat. Push down to open those arms. This back leg turns. This other leg turns out. Warrior two. Straighten out. And then reach for triangle. Open up those arms. Reach out through the head. And bend the knee. Come all the way up. Turn those feet out. And bend the knees. Let's do one more, folks, each side. Open out, warrior two. Here we go. Straighten out, keep your sides long as you extend for that triangle pose. Feel the stretch as you come back to your warrior two. Reach out through those arms. Take a moment, maybe look over your fingertips. And then coming up into our squat. Maybe coming lower if you want, if that's in your body today. And then open out. Warrior two again. Maybe you're coming lower because your body's warmer. Maybe looking at the fingertips. Straighten up that front leg, reaching really long, even like you could reach that wall past the foot. Your hand can come onto your shin, your ankle, or your leg. Push down, tip, warrior two. And coming into our squat again, last one here, turning the feet out. And now straighten out, turn your feet in. Cactus those arms again. Tip forward with those arms, those elbows reaching up to the ceiling. Hands now coming to the floor or your legs. And release your head once again towards the floor. You can use your hands to create a little bit of pulling, lengthening. It's like you're drawing your torso longer, you're creating extension through the torso. Elbows reaching maybe up towards the ceiling, holding on to your legs. Feel that blood coming to your head, this inversion for really creating invigorating, energizing. It can just help to, again, create a different perspective. So notice when our head is we're upside down, looking at the world differently. Things look different than how they did when we're standing upright. You can still recognize objects, right? Maybe the plants or maybe a picture on the wall, something. Let's take 2 more breaths here if that's okay. Again, and remembering if it's not, then your head comes in line with your heart. All right, folks, let's go ahead and walk those feet in as we bend our knees and then come slowly up to standing. Take your time to come back into your mountain. See how your mountain feels now after that inversion, after being upside down. Notice now, like the things on the wall in front of you or your feet underneath you. How does your mountain pose feel now? Do you feel lightheaded? Do you feel solid in your feet? Where do you notice any sensation in your body in this mountain pose? Do your feet feel as stable? Do you feel taller? Do you feel more energized? How are you experiencing mountain pose now comparative to where we were earlier? So take another moment or two to just experience your mountain. Any sensation in the fingers or the toes. Noticing from your feet to your head and from your head to your feet. All right. Okay. So let's turn to face the shortage of our mat, work our way down to the ground. With your next inhale, reach your arms up to or towards the ceiling and bend your knees, reach and lower down to the ground, bending the knees. Step your legs back into a plank position. Option, the knees come down. Another option is to come to your forearms. So those are your options. Take whichever one is suitable for you today. Tomorrow might feel a little different. And let's hold this for a few breaths. And coming on down to our stomach, resting the head on the back of the hands. Stretch out through your toes, elbows wide. We're going to keep our head and hands together. Keep your hips pressing down into the floor.
as we lift our legs and torso, coming into locust variation. Of course, you could always have your arms out to the sides or behind you if you like. A little supportive to have the hands on the head. And then hold this for 3. You can always come down, 2, and 1. Lower it all the way down, releasing every muscle you can think of, you can feel, releasing. And starting to now slow down that respiratory rhythm. Couple more breaths here, folks. All right. Roll to one side and bring your knees up towards your chest. Your arm can support your head. You could also have something under your head if you had a pillow or a blanket. And we'll take the top leg, grab the ankle, and bring this top shoulder back and down to allow our knee to move now towards the hand. So rolling that shoulder back, getting a nice big stretch along the front of that leg. And another option is to send your bottom leg straight. You can also keep it bent, and you can also straighten the bottom leg. It's a little bit more challenging. Woo. Another option would be to completely roll onto your stomach as another option. So wherever you are, let's all practice a little to increase the sensation. If you'd like to join me, there's a little bit of movement of your hips forward to get a little more sensation in the front of your hip and your leg. Holding on to the ankle. All right, now meet me back onto your side if you're on your stomach. And we're going to send the legs straight forward, holding on to our leg somewhere with both hands and bring our head towards the shin. See if you can keep that leg straight. And then release. All right, press yourself on up, and we'll do the second side of that. Same sequence. Let's knees up, grabbing or first rolling the shoulder back, and then grabbing the ankle and bringing the leg back. Rolling your shoulder back, pressing the hips forward. Remember those options. Bottom leg can be straight. You could also, it could be straight out in front or it could be straight along the mat. You choose. Wherever you are, again, thinking of the hips pressing forward. If you're on your stomach, that's an option. Your hips are pressing down into the mat. So just whatever sensation you like, or, as you're tracking to make sure that this sensation doesn't increase or change. Sometimes it can, if there's a sharp sensation, that might not be a good thing. Just take a few more breaths here. All right, bringing your leg forward. So coming back onto your side and your head coming between your elbows. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and press ourselves up
for a few more twists or yeah, twist and other things. So you might like to sit on something for this next series. You do not have to. Just again, in this all levels, you decide. One leg goes forward, the other foot comes across outside of that knee. And we can pull our torso towards our leg for a little bit more extension and upright positioning of the torso. Now, the opposite arm can either hook the elbow or just keep your hand onto your knee and then begin to revolve, rotate, twist towards that hip. And if you'd like, continue to rotate your head to look at something on the wall behind you. And continue to allow your breath to guide you. And come back to center and switch legs. Sitting tall, growing tall, rotating from the waist, rib cage, shoulders, and then head. As you pick out an object behind you, just noticing also your breath, what's occurring, what's going on in your body, what sensations are present. This mind body practice helps to support us in our life outside of our yoga class, off of our mat, teaches us to learn to recognize symptoms when our mind is overactive. Coming back to center. All right, let's take our legs into a. Um, let's do this one first. So legs are going straight forward, feet slightly flexed, and the knees maybe slightly bent. One, both arms or no arms reaching up, lifting our rib cage towards the knees, and then coming down over our legs, maybe hands onto the feet, to our ankles, to our calves, creating some length. Every inhale allows us to lift and lengthen a slight bit more, and we exhale, come forward a slight bit more. Two more breaths like that. That inhale might lift us up more, and our exhale might bring us forward more. All right, folks. Now we're going to do the last one here, which is our legs going out into a straddle. So we're going to stretch the inner legs here. Your fingertips can be behind you. You can pull yourself forward, and we'll come forward a little or a lot or not at all. Having the hips elevated is super helpful. And we'll be here another several moments, a few more breaths. And then I think we've stretched almost everything. We'll do one last thing when we come down onto our backs. Of course, actually, what I'll show what we're going to do next. You can do seated. So let's go ahead and come on up. All right, bring those legs together. And then just take a moment. We're going to stretch the wrists. This will be the last thing that we stretch because we've stretched everything else. So first, let's clasp the hands, press our palms forward, and then reach those arms up to the ceiling. Now, maybe the arms just come forward, or maybe we can bring our arms up over our head, or maybe down here is fine too. So there's no right or wrong to this. Okay. And now take one hand and flex your wrist towards you. You can even bring your hand onto your leg or out in front. Other hand, flexing that wrist. We didn't do a lot of um, upper body work today, so you may not experience much tension in the wrist. And then we'll bring the arm across our chest and turn towards our shoulder. Stretching the neck, of course, and the shoulder. And then the other side, you can either just bring your hand to your arm or hook your elbows and then look over your front shoulder. All right, and come on back. Gosh, I do feel like we have stretched everything. There may be something, maybe still the ankles need, but we are now ready for our final relaxation. So I'm just going to stay sitting. You can be sitting, you can be laying down, you can be standing, just whatever is comfortable for you. We'll be here for about 5 minutes. And it usually goes pretty fast from my perspective and from what my students have said in person that it, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes at all. So just get yourself to be in a comfortable position. And once you get there, maybe you could get a little bit more comfortable. So once you have settled into your comfort zone, you've arrived, just begin to call in any sounds that are present in your environment, recognizing what those sounds are. And if there are any smells that are maybe wafting in from the other room or maybe from your room, from your space. If your eyes are closed, maybe just sensing the objects around you. If your eyes are open, then calling those objects and noticing their shape and color and texture. And then noticing the temperature of the skin, of your skin, and the way that the air comes in. Is it cool when it comes in and warm when it leaves? Give yourself some time to notice those things. And when you feel called now, let all that go and just focusing on what is present in this moment. If there are thoughts that are present, notice that there is not a permanent of any one particular thought.
but to welcome in what is um, what you are thinking, and if there is any particular way or particular sensation that is present with a thought. If it's just a thought, then label it just as a thought, and that's okay too. And then return to your body, to your breath, and notice the changing quality of your breath. So, dropping from above sensing the mind to sensing internally to breath, to body, to awareness. And last few breaths here. And then begin to blink your eyes, closed and opened, moving your fingers, your toes, wrists, and ankles. And when you feel ready to emerge, do so. Coming to an upright seated position where we'll finish our time together today. And I just want to thank you for joining me today in this comeback yoga lesson. Again, if you're not familiar with comeback yoga, we serve veterans, active duty military, and your support team. So please share this practice. You can also click the link below to find out more about us. And if you have the means to donate, we do take donations and time donations as well. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for being here and have a great rest of your week. Take good care.